San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Jauan Jennings, who's scheduled to make $7.5 million this year in the final year of his contract, has requested either an extension or a trade by the beginning of training camp if his demands are not met. Jennings is a pretty good wide receiver for the 49ers, serving last year at times as their wide receiver 1 due to injuries to Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk. In weeks 10 through 18 after returning from his own injury, he had 52 receptions, which was 9th in the NFL, 571 yards, which was 19th, 78.1 PFF grade, which was 20th, and a 2.0 yards per route run, which was 27th. People love to have Jauan Jennings in fantasy last year. The 49ers love to have him as a good guy to, be a good role player. And in the Super Bowl that they played in against the Chiefs, he was almost the MVP if the team won, throwing a touchdown, catching one or two. He truly is a great player. I don't think the 49ers should extend Jauan Jennings. I think it is not in their best interest with how expensive their roster is now that Brock Purdy's getting his extension. Brandon Aiyuk's on good money. George Kittle's on good money. Christian McCaffrey's on good money. Trent Williams, Fred Warner, all these guys have so much money invested into them. I don't think it's in the best interest of the 49ers to bring a guy like Jauan Jennings, who's a good player, but replaceable because now you have Ricky Pearsall on the roster. And still Brandon Aiyuk when he comes back from injury. That's a good 2 wide receiver set with George Kittle also being able to catch passes and Christian McCaffrey being the best pass catching back when he's healthy. I don't think you have to think about extending a guy like Jauan Jennings. I think they should look to trade him and trying to get as much value for him as they can, but they know that they don't really have the leverage here. So, what do you do if you're the 49ers? I don't think you extend him, but I don't know. I just don't think it's in their best interest, in all honesty. So what teams could we see Jauan Jennings going to if he gets traded? Well, the first team I have is the New England Patriots. They would have to involve Kayshon Boutte or Kendrick Bourne in the trade, and most likely cut a guy like Javon Baker, which would make me sad after my big thoughts about him during his draft day. New England needs a wide receiver 2 that's really proven, and Jauan Jennings is the type of guy that can go to any system and be a solid wide receiver 2, especially a Josh McDaniels offense and a Mike Vrabel-led team. He's the type of guy that's easy to coach. It's a great player to have in the locker room. So New England would love that with a young Drake May in his second year, a better offensive line. If they get Jennings, it's more or less just them trying to make the playoff push that we potentially could make in New England. The second team would be the Las Vegas Raiders. Jacoby Myers is their wide receiver 1. They obviously have Brock Bowers, the generational tight end, but that's not enough for a passing game. They need a second guy there that could come in and make a true impact outside of Myers and Bowers, and that's Jauan Jennings. They have Dante Thornton Jr., Dak Beck, and other guys, but that's 2 rookies that you don't know what they'll be, not really high-round guys. Do you want to take the chance on Jennings? I think you do. They have the money to extend him as well, not as much as New England. They still could extend him because that's what he'd be looking for if he was traded. He'd be a great addition to the Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly passing offense there. Alongside Ashton Genty in the run game too. He's the type of guy that could help out Geno Smith on the play-action passes where every wide receiver succeeds. And I really do think that Jennings would be a perfect fit in Vegas because he has the attention of Bowers and of Jacoby Myers. He fits best as a second or third option, probably like a, $15 million a year type of guy, maybe. Who knows, really? Maybe 12, but again, he's a wide receiver 2 that would fit perfectly in a good offense, or projected to be a good offense. I think that Las Vegas could definitely give up like a mid-round pick for him. It's someone that I think Geno Smith would love to have, an outside guy. He likes throwing to the outside guys the most, really. Saw that a lot in Seattle, whether it was DK or Jackson Smith and Jigba. When guys are playing on the outside, he likes to take those deep shots, likes to take those shots over the middle of the field, just anything outside as well. Geno would love him. Pete Carroll would love him. He'd be a great fit in the Raiders, and they could extend him. Another team is Denver. The Denver Broncos are in desperate need of a second pass catcher. They have Cortland Sutton and nobody else that's proven. Marvin Mims has made a couple good plays in his career and honestly is a decent weapon, but is he ready to be a wide receiver 2? I don't think so. I think he's too young. I don't think he's shown enough to really prove that he is someone that they can rely on to be their second pass catcher. And outside of that, they don't really have much in Denver. Cortland Sutton's amazing. But Jennings, again, would give them a veteran option at only 28 years old that they could extend on probably like a 2 or 3 year deal. I think Bo Nix, someone with, another young quarterback, could use a guy like Jauan Jennings in the building. Jennings is a solid route runner, great hands. He doesn't really drop the ball at all. He just knows how to play his role. And he can give you some trick plays as well with his passing ability. Not that maybe Sean Payton draws something up there, but, Bo Nix needs another weapon. You don't want him to have to solely rely on deep shots to Marvin Mims, which, aren't always successful, and Cortland Sutton being an amazing possession receiver. You got to get a guy like Jauan Jennings in there, who's also kind of a possession receiver. Not really great after the catch. Didn't grade out well with yards after catch per reception. But definitely a guy that Denver could use and would be able to extend as well. Again, not as much money as a New England or even Las Vegas, but someone that brings in another option for Bo Nix, who is struggling to find weapons in this offense. You definitely need someone like him in there. And then there's another team with another crowded receiver room, kind of like New England, the Carolina Panthers. There's a lot of people in this room. You got the rookie Teteroa McMillan, 35-year-old Adam Thielen, second-year Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker, David Moore, and rookie Jimmy Horn Jr. How many of them are going to be impact guys, though? Thielen's going to be 35 at the start of the season, and he still looked good at 34, but do you really want him to be a lead pass catcher on a team with Bryce Young, a quarterback going into his third year, who really needs that help and has shown flashes last season? I know Teteroa is there, but they could use more because they also don't really have much at tight end either. Who knows with Jatavion Sanders? But if I'm Carolina, I'm possibly pulling the trigger here, because then you got, after Teteroa and Adam Thielen, you got Xavier Legette, who had a 14% drop percentage last year, which was horrible. I think it was 9th in the league. Can he fix that? I don't know, in all honesty, because his drops are really bad. Didn't even seem like they were concentration drops. It was more or less just like bricks for hands. In all honesty, like that one against Kansas City for that potential game-winning touchdown, that was really bad. David Moore's okay. Jalen Coker was an undrafted free agent last season. He played well in his role, but is he someone that Bryce Young can rely on week in and week out? I don't think so. And then Jimmy Horn Jr., who was very underrated in the draft process, I think he could be a good guy to get in that building as well. But Jauan Jennings would, help them a lot. They're in a weak division. They're in probably the second weakest division outside the AFC South. Maybe the weakest. But they got competitive teams there like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not even going to mention the Saints. Why not get a guy like Jauan Jennings in the building to help prove that this offense can help Bryce Young become the quarterback that he is, that he needs to be for this team to win games? If they get a guy like Jauan Jennings, it makes the passing game so much more efficient, because like I've said for every team, Jauan Jennings just knows how to fill a role. That's all that they need. They don't need a superstar, because they're going to have that in Teteroa. I'm very high on him. Everybody was. Taken 8th overall for a reason. Teteroa is just a stud of a wide receiver, tall guy, can catch contested catches, can get open, separate a little bit. Not the best at it, but he can separate. You need a guy like a Jauan Jennings in there who will come in, run good routes, catch good balls, not drop the ball either. Like, for example, his drop rate last season, over all of last year, was only 4.9%. That's the type of guy you need in the building. And comparatively, Jacoby Myers, for example, with the Raiders, Jacoby Myers didn't drop a ball last year. Get a guy with sure hands like him in the building. You got a good wide receiver group in Carolina if you get a Jauan Jennings there. It might be crowded. A guy like David Moore might have to go potentially. But I think you take that if you're Carolina, because you also have the money to extend him, bring him into the building, and really improve this wide receiver room for a young Bryce Young. That's weird. Trying to prove himself in the NFL. If you guys think of another team that Jauan Jennings could go to, let me know down below. If you want to draft Jauan Jennings in fantasy, there's no better place to do it than on Underdog, which has the best ball tournaments of any platform and really good pick'em entries. If you sign up with my code Fanatics, you get a deposit match up to $1,000 and a free pick for the pick'em entries. I've been running the best ball drafts a lot recently. I've done 2 already. I plan to continue to do more. So if you guys want to tune into those, check them out. And I will be drafting Jauan Jennings. I will be thinking he'll be traded. I don't think the 49ers should extend him. I don't think that would be a good idea.